Well, I've pressed the button, but it doesn't say we're live yet. And we're live! Hello everyone, this is Jay Tolmar. Today I'm joined by Charging Charles, aka Chargles.
Good evening, everybody.
And we have another race today for the PK Scramble Inaugural Tournament. This time it will be between mcmcgurk and Attack Slug, who I believe are fairly evenly matched runners, so this should be a pretty good match. I'm going to go ahead and let them know that they are good to start, and we will start the countdown whenever they both ready up.
All right.
Oh, they both already readied up. Okay. Hopefully they're both looking at it, because I told them they have to. We are starting in 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and race. Except stream delay.
And we'll see what
works.
kind of timing delay we'll have between them here.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny, because I have this countdown. I feel like I must narrate it, but I have no idea how long between the countdown and actually seeing them go. It looks like they started...
You did get all your numbers in the right order, so we're off to a good start.
I don't always do that. All right. Hello, everyone in chat. Welcome. Yeah, so same thing as usual. Let us know if you're not familiar with the rando, and we will let you know what's going on. Otherwise, we're probably just going to fill here and say the things that happened out loud. Oh, wow, it's Paula's theme in Buzz House.
So we have the music shuffle is going on here.
Yep, and I saw that it was somewhere that starts with a T, but I didn't see who. Where?
I'll admit, I had the same issue. So we're off to a great start commentating.
Yeah,
It's the first piece of key information.
Yeah, that one's really easy to miss, because there's more intro stuff to say than there is time between the start and that.
Yep.
Yeah, good luck,
Slug
Master
doing a
Rocker.
little bit better enemy dodging there than McGurk. McGurk kind of went for a despawn, and Slug just realized that Ness runs at the same speed as the dogs.
Yeah, I really like the dodges you can do with things that are exactly the same speed as you, where you like do the big long loop and catch them behind a tree. That is not as fast as the things that the actual speedrunners do to dodge enemies.
They are better at this than we are.
Well, I don't know about you. You're pretty highly ranked. I have basically stopped playing this at normal speed. I just play all my scrambles at 2x now. And that's a 3, so I'm going to bet the other one was Tucson.
All right. So we got, odds are then, Foreside's coming up next. It has to, right?
Does it?
I don't know. That is what the logic states. We had, we're in Monette. We have Tucson. We have 3.
Do you think that the logic knows how to count? Remember, I might not.
I did prepare some Earthbound fun facts for the crowd today.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear one?
Yeah, I've heard that you're quite the Earthbound expert. So wait, let's get that meteor off of. Oh no, okay. Yeah, go ahead. I was gonna say we should get what the meteor is.
Yes, the town names. If you look carefully, they all actually have numbers hidden in them, and this is useful as it tells you what order to visit the towns in.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's like 1 at Tucson. 3 P3 Village.
It is very subtle.
4.
Very subtle.
5 Valley.
We're picking up an early
6
Jeff
side. Here. Yep. That's Jeff in his vanilla location, or as close to vanilla as you can get with this location.
How long would that big bottle of rocket last? Will they avoid the urge to use it to get out of an early fight?
I mean, I always use it like the first fight that I feel like I did the wrong thing, like got into a bad neighborhood.
Kind of a quick EXP grab.
Yeah, and also just like a get out of jail free.
He's got the early engine, which means we're opening up Summers as well. This is going to be an interesting divergence.
And it looks like McGurk is taking it. I think the UFO engine was the meteorite item, and the fly honey, I think, was on Jeff. Yeah, so is that why it's 10 to village?
Yes, I believe it was that is the 10th location you open up in the game.
Yeah, that makes sense. For anyone who thinks that I'm telling the truth, it's not even a 10 pun in the Japanese. That's just a lucky thing with how they localized it.
I think it was a key to the shack there, maybe key to the cabin coming out of the library.
Good eye.
And if that was key to the shack, we have our first sanctuary opened up, obviously.
Yep, that's what that one does, unless you're on location shuffle. Hey, there's some green things in the whatever that place is. Arcade.
Behind the arcade there.
Yeah.
Getting the toy air gun early for Jeff. He's got 121 HP, so he is stacked for some reason.
Yeah.
3 was maybe not supposed to be the first stop they visited. There's maybe a second or third layer of logic here.
Yeah, I think you're right. That boogie tent is probably scary. Actually, might be too scary to just finish off with a BBR too. So, good thing they didn't just.
But that
go
is going to
immediately check
make Jeff is going to make the early stages here pretty fast.
that. Yeah, definitely.
If Slug is following the right path.
Well, she did just get through the Pokepunk, so it shouldn't be that bad here.
And it does look like, in fact, Slug is on the right path.
And Slug kills the first green thing. On to the second.
Did pick up a pair of colds, though.
Yeah, it looks like Belch has been letting loose with a hacking cough, so it's not completely at the bottom tier of logic. And that is the second green thing down for Slug.
And as long as Slug does not walk in a circle for 2 minutes, Slug should survive the cold here.
Yeah, those kids have plenty of HP for that. It looks like Ness has healing. Though only healing one of the kids, if I saw that correctly?
I believe it was on both.
I saw it incorrectly. McGurk's going to be picking up that magic cake check. Oh, that was a funny noise.
And we have our meteorite piece, so McGurk is clearly going to find that one eventually. That won't be
that is going to be required.
An issue.
I think you would need a lot of glitches to avoid that one. And winters for McGurk.
So if we can get try the pencil eraser, that'll open up a second sanctuary here as well.
Yeah, it would. There it is. That is a pencil eraser.
Now, at this point, they are not going to be able to pick up many more teleports.
Yeah, they're kind of locked on those until they get to Saturn Valley. Once they do, that's 2 more. But yeah, they're probably going to have to find a zombie paper and walk on over there. So you got any more of those Earthbound fun facts for us?
Oh, I do, in fact. Thank you for asking.
Of course.
Did you know that Ness made his video game debut in the little-known 1999 N64 fighting game Super Smash Bros.? However, most gaming fans missed it because at this point the N64 was waning in popularity due to the rise of the Sega Dreamcast.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That is why very few people recognize Ness from Super Smash Bros. and more from Earthbound.
Yeah, I missed out on that entire era of gaming. I was actually on the Pico 8 back then.
We have the zombie paper coming in from Apple Kids, so that is our Saturn Valley access.
Just according to
With
plan.
the Fly Honey, we do have 3 sanctuaries as well, and a meteorite piece. So 7 minutes in, they're kind of close to go mode in a sense. They don't have the levels, but they have the ability to get there almost.
Yeah, I'll see if I can re-roll the commentator. Chargles, could you do a somersault for us?
Do a what?
Somersault.
I don't know what that means.
It said to re-roll the commentator, so a somersault or a log roll, maybe a cartwheel.
Oh, I see. They want someone different.
Oh no, I thought they just meant they wanted you to roll over.
Well, this has been only 8 minutes, and with any luck, it's a really wicked Gygus, and we're here for an hour and a half.
Oh yeah. Well, don't let me re-roll the seed, everyone, because we saw what happened last time. I do see someone new in chat. If you have not been exposed to PK Scramble before, please just pipe up, and it'll give you the entire spiel. I'm only not doing it because we have a ton of people who've heard it already, and it takes me like a minute. Yep, everyone's gonna make fun of me for that for about a week. Alright, hey, we've got a new person.
I don't even know what they're referencing.
Oh, alright. Well, welcome, new viewers. This is PK Scramble. It is an Earthbound randomizer. The way that it works is it shuffles all of the key items, so you might find the wad of bills on the meteor, you might find the Franklin badge in the library, Mayor Perkle might have Tenderkraut. It'll also shuffle all the character join locations, so you could find Pooh in that cabin that Paul is imprisoned at, or vice versa. You can also add something that we call a PK check. That is a place where a plot NPC, like particularly plot critical ones or ones who talk about PSI stuff, will give you a random teleport, and that opens up the logic. So they open this up by talking to Buzz Buzz, getting his last words, and getting a teleport to Tucson out of it. Between all of that, they have to figure out how to get to Gygus and beat him. To get to Gygus, they will need to complete some number of sanctuaries, which for races we always set it to 4. And then they'll have to get to Saturn Valley, repair the phase distorter with the meteorite piece, and bring Paula, because Paula is necessary to beat Gygus. So just in summary, they're looking for 4 sanctuary accesses, Paula, Saturn Valley, and a meteorite piece, and then whoever beats Gygus first will win.
Slug might be walking into a tough one here. Picked up a Mr. Saturn coin, which is maybe a higher. How high tier is that in the coins in terms of the scramble?
It's kind of funny. It's better than some of the ones that are higher up than it. Because all of the coins and stuff are placed according to how deep into vanilla you would find them. And the Mr. Saturn coin, I think you get it in Saturn Valley. So it's
You
Saturn
do
Valley
after you
tier.
defeat Belch. Yep.
Yeah, it's Saturn Valley tier, but the next couple of coins you get are worse. So a little odd. There's only one Saturn Valley or one Saturn coin in the pool for items.
Okay. So I did notice that. Yeah, it looks like Carpainter did the fizzling zip zap attack, which is not terribly frightening.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of the second half of the explanation of how this randomizer works. The other thing that's unique about this randomizer is that once it has laid out all of the items and such, the rando is going to figure out some logically possible path to get through the game. It's not particularly good path, it's just some random logically possible path. And all of the enemies you encounter, if you happen to follow that path, will have their levels scale up linearly. That's also the equipment that you find along the way. So that's kind of like part of the consideration. If you end up really far off of logic, you might have to come back later, or you could just get really good items and a lot of experience if you can clutch it out anyway. Part of how that works is it will scale down enemy attacks. So the fizzing zip zap attack that Chargles mentioned, that is a scaled down crashing boom bang attack.
McGurk choosing to not buy the bazooka at this stage. At what point would you recommend a bazooka? That's equal to a small bomb or a normal bomb, correct?
Yes, it is exactly the same code as a normal bomb. It's just reusable. I don't know if I would actually take the bazooka on this flag set. So we are playing this time with double item scaling, so the items they find are going to be up twice as good as normal, and that means that they are going to find the heavy bazooka pretty soon, so I think I would just save up my money for them.
It's a good reminder. I totally forgot that we were on the item level 140.
Yep, and I believe we actually successfully set it that time. Yesterday we had a major issue where I accidentally set it to enemy level 140, which is only sometimes doable.
It's important that you've owned your mistake.
Oh yeah. Looks like McGurk is going to be going for that Frankenstein. We'll see how tough this Tint Frankenstein is.
Turns out it wasn't.
Well, that was a BBR. That makes a lot of things not tough.
I suppose, and he does have a low HP no matter what on the scaling.
Yeah, it's true. Frankenstein's not a particularly difficult boss. And there's a wad of bills in the trash can. That is useless because they already found a way to thread.
Well,
also,
Slug did pick up the Magicant teleport there from Cave of the Future, whatever we call that section there.
I always call that one Cave of the Past and the other one Cave of the Past in the Past. I think I'm the only person who does it that way.
Which one is, so the actual Cave of the Past is Cave of the Past of the Past?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cave of the Present.
I fully understand.
Like, it's the Cave of the Past, but it's not in the past yet. Makes sense to me.
With picking up Magicant and item scaling, that could be a chance to really grab enough items just from Magicant if the rolls are nice to really just fly through the rest of the scene.
Oh yeah, since we have new people in here, Magicant is going to be not required under our usual flags, but if you complete Magicant, all of the kids who are currently in your party will get the entire stat boost. So it's optional, you get a huge pile of stats and experience, and oftentimes you can actually catch up using just how much power that gives you if you do it early enough.
Bird's getting ambushed by zombies, but does not seem to be terribly challenging. Dr. Sibian, thank you for the clear explanation there in the chat.
Um, Also, a little bit earlier in the chat, I believe we had Crimson Green mentioning that he got the fly honey in the belch base. And I just wanted to say, that's the first time I've seen someone do that too.
Yeah, the Tendacrow?
Yeah. Did I say fly honey?
You did.
Oops. That would be vanilla.
This that's really embarrassing. That's the worst mistake you've made all week.
Yeah, I agree. Um, Also, I really like how Slug picked plain flavor and McGurk picked almost plain flavor, and then suddenly Final Fantasy.
The Fobbies are quite the experienced farm, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, definitely. We don't have curses or anything on to make them not an experienced farm.
Slug will definitely pick up some big experience coming into the fight. It's also again at times useful. I'm not sure which seeds I like more. Seeds where you get the full complement of the party, or we end up having to solo Ness it for a long time, but then he does get quite beefy after a while.
Um, I don't like Solo Ness Monkey Cave, I'll say. But
The item, yeah, that's a lot of items to
yeah,
camel around.
Solo Ness and dodging enemies is a little bit fun though. Yeah, so somebody in chat mentioned that they were afraid of trying out PK Scramble, and I would definitely just recommend diving into it. Hit that casual button, just do 8 sank. There's a huge guide on the website if you get stuck, and you can also just talk to a hint man. If you just do what the hint men tell you to, eventually you will get through. Sometimes they'll give you redundant hints, but you do that, and then they'll give you a new one.
To quote I believe the sea captain said it best. The only thing you have to lose is your life, and you got that for free.
That's true. That's how I live my life. On the sea. That's right, I'm casting from a houseboat.
Guardian General is taken down with relative ease by Slug.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the name of the game when you're fighting Guardian General, isn't it?
Sure is. Looking at, I'm trying to see, Slug is about only 2 or 3 minutes ahead of Gurk, and I'm trying to think if McGurk did any checks that Slug hasn't yet, or if Slug has just had slightly better routing.
McGurk has done the boogie tent, and maybe something else, but I only remember the boogie tent. And we do know that that boogie tent ended up being nothing, so if Slug forgets it, then she'll just end up ahead.
Slug feeling comfortable enough doing what must have been key to the shack there.
Yep. I'm gonna bet that this is a think break. Because there's no particular reason to head over here right now, but yeah, if you don't remember what you have available and you just need a chance to stop and think and you're in a race, do a sanctuary, because they're the same every time and you can think about something else.
Gurk did Summers, and Attack Slug has not turned in that UFO engine yet.
Ah, there you go. Okay, so McGurk's actually up 2 checks. But of course, Slug is through this dungeon and halfway into the next, so really kind of hard to tell who is ahead right now.
Which then, of course, begs the question, what did the Winters vendor give for the item? I don't recall.
I don't know. Yeah. Pencil eraser, thank you, Crimson Green. Yeah, so that's going to be necessary. That's a sanctuary access. Oh, that's right. We've got attack slugs on screen. You know what that means?
It's time for another fun fact.
No, it's time to
I actually have one related to the attack slug.
Oh, I just meant it's time to spam this emote. What is your fun fact?
Oh, I see. The attack slug enemy was actually based on a slug, an animal that does exist in real life.
I didn't know that slugs are real. That's not true.
I believe attack slug, the runner, took inspiration for her name from the attack slugs in the game.
Wow, I didn't know that either. We actually have giant slugs where I live. They're called banana slugs because they're that color. Thankfully not because they're that size. And that is Ness's nightmare for attack slug. Nobody likes seeing that guy. He's a jerk.
The Saturn Valley coffee vendor delivers you a teleport to Saturn Valley.
Yeah, that's...
Casey lets you know exactly where you already are.
That's kind of a common meme. For some reason, that teleport likes to be Magic Hand or Saturn Valley like half the time.
Not opposed.
Mm-hmm. McGurk is picking up some items from the Mr. Saturn there. Those are fixed items for now.
When you say fixed items, they are fixed items logically?
Like they're just the same every time. There's no
Oh.
scaling on NPC items right now.
Oh.
I am working on
Oh,
that, but it's
talking to the Saturn versus going through the trash cans.
oh yeah, they're
Yes.
talking to the Saturn.
See, Slug is teleporting there, where it's a little safe. There is a spot between the two caves that you can work a teleport beta out of. It's not necessarily pixel perfect, but it is a little tough to find a spot for that. So that would be a way to shave off a second or two in your run.
And you're all about shaving off those seconds.
Looks like McGurk is. I'm a big fan of the Magicant play, as I'm not shy about in the chat. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan of going where you're not supposed to be and looting all the good stuff to really just speed through the rest of it.
yeah, it's kind of fun. The like top four runners are 50-50 split in like always Magicant whenever it makes any sense, and like never Magicant. Like Oriole is exactly like you. And of course you're one of the top four as well, where it's just like, oh, I have an excuse to do something maybe I shouldn't, let's go do it. And then of course Anda, who was on commons with me yesterday, like won't Magicant in the most Magicant seed that has ever Magicanted.
Anything but. Looks like Gurk just was about 1,000 protractors short of being able to afford the rabbit's foot.
That's a lot of protractors. And a Rabbit's Foot is a very high tier item. Probably gonna get some good stuff over in Magicant.
If he can make it, he did not bring any repel sandwiches, so it's going to be
Ooh.
some tricky navigation.
Yeah, and it's even harder to dodge enemies here than it is in vanilla because he has two kids.
The butterfly did scare him just a moment.
Yep. We also got that Winter's music here. Oh, now it's Brick Road. Perfect.
Speaking of Brick Road, I do have a fun Earthbound fact about Brick Road.
Oh yeah, lay it on me.
I do. Dungeon Man was included as a warning about the dangers of excessive body modification, a trend that was sweeping through Japan's youth during the year 1990X.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm not sure this is the best of your fun facts here. Um, Alright, well, we're gonna get a magic and oh, it's a loaded dice from McGurk. These are very scary enemies. We'll see if he can actually handle that. I
Zone
don't.
47, you can get flying men. There are, I believe, 4 locations for the 3 kids. The 3 kids will be at 3 of them, and the extra location is either going to be a teddy bear or a flying man.
Yep.
If you can find a flying man, they are usually pretty beef-caked.
Yeah, that's because, as we know, birds are jacked. If you do check the flying men who are in the flying men hut in Magicant, they have various lines explaining why they won't join you. And by various, I mean there's 2 different lines in there.
You're able to take down a electro swoosh there,
Yeah.
continuing the eye for items.
That's gonna be a lot of level. Oh, actually, it wasn't that many levels.
There's the gutsy bet. That could make a big difference along the way here.
Yeah, physical attacks are. They kind of fall off by the end of the game, except for the Gutsy Bat. That does not fall off ever. It is very, very good.
One last check here. Slug is some of the summer's checks. They'll be trying to tell relatively even at this point,
Yeah, definitely.
except Gurk will have to take a minute or two to get out of.
Yeah, I
Unless
wonder.
he's going to continue on to try the boss.
Yeah, I would definitely
this is a
continue on.
bold move.
Like, once you get all the way this far, you might as well continue on. Like, it's either a ton of levels or just, like, kind of a death warp.
It's your way to get back to
Yeah.
to the real world.
Yeah, you get a ton of levels or you die. Either way, it probably takes only slightly longer than walking all the way back.
That was not the combination that we were hoping for. I believe he was really wishing that it were Mr. Molecules.
Yeah, I don't think you can actually get a 2 Mr. Molecule stack. I could easily be wrong about that. Yeah, he might just be taking that death warp early, because these bombs have no chill.
They sure don't.
That's right, Crimson Green. Only the kids you have get stat boosts. It's not the ones who are alive, so anyone who you had in your party, even if they died. But yeah, anyone who's currently with you.
Gurk with an excellent bus dodge on the teleport there.
Very nice. That bus has ruined many a teleport. And McGurk is back to Magic Ant for free and imaginary healthcare.
I was going to come up with a fun fact about the healthcare system, but I thought that was
Maybe
going
less
to touch
fun.
too many nerves. Yes.
Yeah, maybe less fun. What's important is that if you want to live in a trash can, even if you're the best doctor in the world, if you want to live in a trash can, just do it.
Let's do it.
All right,
I
pencil
suppose
eraser for
defeating
Slug.
Belch Base did open up the rest of the world for everyone. So we
Yep.
have a lot of access right now, a lot of options.
Yeah, it looks like McGurk is going to be taking that bus ride to Forside. We'll see if he actually goes all the way or stops in Dusty Dunes. I'm not really a fan of just taking the bus all the way over, though.
Yep, it's probably slightly quicker to unlock the check and then just continue on to Foreside.
Yeah, definitely. The bus stop is kind of in an unfortunate place unless you actually have Monkey Cave access already. Because the Mole Cave is, of course, on the opposite side of the desert. Looks like Slug is taking in route divergence here and going to be doing Happy Happy Village first instead.
It'll be interesting to see which one of them ends up in unlocking their next fourth sanctuary item, because that might determine the route that they go from here on out.
Yeah, definitely. And they also are going to be looking for kid checks. Both of these places they're headed to have a kid check behind a key item. So we'll see which one of them finds a key item. Of course, it'll probably just be one finds the key item for the area the other one went to. Lord Taco repels sandwiches. You use them, and enemies just stop spawning for 10 seconds. Any enemies currently on screen or very slightly off screen will remain, but if you walk around, you'll just notice that there's nothing there for a little bit.
Yeah. Rizu, yes, it does. Just keep on driving by. I would assume, is the flag triggered just by that area loading, and it's kind of assumed then you have control of your character in that area?
No, I went in and manually adding the flag to every combination of buses, walking backwards, etc. in the game.
We have another handful of item checks for McGurk here.
Yeah, it looks like he's taking the never seen item in Moonside, and it's a Holy Fry Pan. And nobody picks that one up.
There's not a lot wrong with that. When he does get Paula, he will be able to smash through pretty much any fight at this point.
James Kamatha, the enemy level flag is correct tonight, and your friend is a troll. Yeah, Moonside is nice, because you just have that, required pile of items on your way over. And then once you finish that, if you decide you need to duck out, then you can. It actually really doesn't waste much time to duck out of Moonside early.
Not too long of a trip.
Maybe you just use an IQ capsule on Jeff.
He used it on Ness.
Ah, that's much better.
I do recall that time that you and Aurelius gave me a really hard time for that, and I've not done it since.
You gotta do it more often. It looks like there is a Paula.
Jeff will need to fix things, though.
Yeah, maybe. You can get broken items in PK Scramble, but it's very rare. Slug found Paula. I didn't see what item Paula had, but it was not the cabin key. So they are going to have to go over there and free her, but they need the key to the cabin to do it.
Be hypothetically advantage Gurk if he can get the key to the cabin before he heads on over.
That's true. Yeah, I'm really curious what the item that Slug found there was.
Looks to be the eraser was given in the cabin.
Oh, you never want to see that.
Not be terribly useful.
Yeah, I don't think it's very likely that that's going to be necessary. It is still physically possible. Oh, hey.
The pack of bubblegum or the signed banana would be the easiest route, I suppose, to get the fourth sanctuary down at this point.
Yeah, I believe you're correct. They could also pick up the carrot key if they get Dalam teleport. I guess they've run out of teleports, so yeah, you're right. It's just those two.
Or there's no more teleport options.
There's no easy ones left.
I suppose Talarama's cave, and because I think Lost Underworld teleport would be in Sank access as well.
Yeah. The only ones they have left that are accessible are Talarama's cave and the pyramid.
There is our fourth sanctuary.
There it is, pack of bubblegum. That's interesting because Slug found an eraser. So if it is the key to the cabin down there, then this is a trolley seed, um, because I'll have to be Stonehenge base.
We'll all have to buckle up. It's going to be a while. The
Yep,
heavy bazooka has been found with big bottle rockets.
there you go. Yeah, like I said, I think it's very likely you're going to find that heavy bazooka in these flags.
Does look like Chad is demanding more bears.
Bear! Oh, yeah, bear, bear! You have to call out bear every time you see a bear. I think that's the rule, if I'm getting it correct.
Surprised McGurk is not selling his bazooka to buy the heavy bazooka.
Yeah, it's really hard to just, like, remember what items you have that you can sell sometimes. Um, I think a lot of runners kind of end up in a trap where they assume that everything they should get rid of is in the bottom half of their inventory. And then you don't notice that you have that bazooka from ages ago.
So don't know if Girk bought the heavy bazooka. He may come back with all this money now.
Yeah, I think he's just unloading his entire bank account and buying a heavy bazooka, which is, you know, hashtag relatable.
I missed the what number was Clumsy Robot there? See the second or third?
I missed it too. We'll see how difficult that robot is. Looks like Slug has paralysis, and it worked, so yeah, you just auto-fight through this. And it was not much. I'm going to bet that was second.
Girk is going to be walking around with a lot of heavy equipment here.
Yeah, just lots of explosives.
Characters down.
Yeah, we need to add encumbrance to PK Scramble. I think that would be a very popular mechanic that goes over very well.
We really need that.
Mm-hmm. Is that like Bad Curse Ideas number 308? That's a rain pendant. You love to see those.
We have a rain and an earth and an OK at this point,
yeah.
Even in Girk's party. So when they do get Paula, if they do get Paula,
I think they'll get Paula.
Will be all set.
Yeah. It looked like McGurk was considering dropping that OK pendant and then decided to hold on to it. It is definitely worse than rain and earth in these flag settings. But you might be holding onto it for the Paula. That's diamonds in the mine. Yeah, so we're kind of
just doing a check to see what the enemies, or at least the barfs, are like in there.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to do this because diamond leads to another check, so it's just kind of like a random key item. I imagine that McGurk is trying to put off doing Happy Happy Village until he picks up something else that's useful over there. Because people just don't like having to double dip over there.
McGurk will be picking up lots of baseball bats here, as well as measuring exactly the length of this pile of barf.
Wizard Vapes, I am literally working on something that includes that. It'll be a while. Yeah, I'm working on item generation, and I found out that I have to do Monkey Cave Rando first.
Slug is choosing to hoof it over to the desert.
Hoof, 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 hoof. Hoi, 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 hoi.
Could not afford the bus, possibly.
I
just felt like strolling in the desert.
There's a lot of contention about which one's faster. I do believe they're almost identical in speed. Someday we need to upgrade our public transit infrastructure. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a train?
Or a monorail?
That's like a train.
There's nothing like a genuine, bona fide, electrified 6-car monorail.
Well, it is a lot like a train. Alright, and there's, the barfs are all going to be giving nausea, which means that this cave will be annoying.
Not that mole caves are ever not annoying.
Yeah, there's varying degrees of annoying. I think Shroom is the most annoying, though.
We're having a little bit of a tough to tell what to do with all these items that they're picking up. They're having to make some Sophie's Choice-esque decisions in what they get rid of.
That's okay. I think Sophie's pretty good at making decisions.
Seemed to be pretty tough in the movie.
Yeah, McGurk can't even hold all these exit mice.
Good question in the chat. Is Escargot Express in this game?
Oh yeah, it is. A lot of runners on their first handful of seeds will use it, and then slowly people tend to get better at their item management until they no longer do. So I haven't seen any escargot expresses during this tourney, but yeah, it's possible. It might actually be a good idea in very rare circumstances, or any casual seed.
Like Slug is sending a message.
Yeah, found
What
a
would Andy do? What would Andy do?
wow, good reading. I did not pick that up at all. I was like, wand for her?
Wawando. Wawando.
Wando. Yeah, if you want to have escargot express, you just have to call Nessa's mom and she'll give you the number for Tracy. You can also walk all the way to Tracy's room, but that is slow. Unless you have
Definitely is.
Magic Ant access, because the Tracy there is also escargot express, and that one might be faster than the phone call.
Occasionally, when I take an early death, I do go raid my sister's room
Oh yeah, if you haven't picked up the
on respawn.
if you haven't picked up a new save spot, then I would always pick that in the way out. Um, we have a question in chat. Do exit mice work like they do in Ancient Cave or Vanilla? It's like Vanilla, but you get two. But it's like Vanilla.
Certain sanctuaries where the exit mouse is going to be a little more useful. Fire Spring, as you have mentioned, was the reason you programmed them into at least the extra exit mouse in.
Oh no, that was Repel Sandwiches at Fire Springs.
Oh, the Repel Sandwich. See, I'm mixing up my facts. Once
Hey,
again, can't trust anything I say.
What? Wait,
And
are you
then,
saying that some of the facts you told earlier aren't true?
well, speaking of, I have another one.
Oh, good. Let's get it.
Ness's name is an homage to creator Shigesato Itoi, whose favorite hobby was searching for legendary Scottish monsters.
Oh, I didn't know that. That explains Nessie as well.
Tessie, yes.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Same thing.
Yeah.
We are eschewing the large pizza on Slug's side of things.
Yeah, I gotta get those Repel sandwiches. Their inventories are pretty well slammed, so I kind of get. Oh, there's a large pizza for her. Yeah, you would always want to get a ton of those if you had the space, but they don't. Neither runner does.
Dropping diadems of kings. There's a good chance, I suppose, at this point, Pooh is not going to be
Yeah.
part of the fun on this seed.
That's also the third. Was that the third Earth Bandit that I saw on McGurk's side?
Possibly. He's rich in pendants.
Yeah, I don't think there's only two per seed, but I could. I don't know. I could have got something wrong.
I see Chad is also making up their own facts at this point.
Yeah, get in on it, chat. Chat. That's how facts work.
As long as you believe what you're saying,
It
it
must
might
be
be
true.
true.
Yeah, I mean, really, the way that you get a actual bona fide fact, no joking, is just make something up and then check and see if it's true, and just repeat and change your mind every time you're wrong, and eventually be right.
It's someone else's job to prove you wrong. We'll be turning in the diamond here. If we get the key to the cabin, that would likely steer Gurk towards Happy Happy and
Yep.
into go mode.
Yeah, if it's key to the cabin, that is going to be go mode, and if it's something else, then I'm kind of thinking it's going to be Stonehenge.
This is what none of us want to see. Cabin. Oh, we are in go mode at 37 minutes.
Was that key to the cabin? It looked like key to the shack, which I know it can't be, so it must be key to the cabin.
I saw key to the something and
Yeah, it can't be shack.
filled in the pieces from there. And Gurk is heading to
Yep, Gurk's
Happy
gonna
Happy,
get
and
it.
he's going to be pleasantly surprised.
Yep. So Slug is up to Sanctuaries, but needs to do the mines and then hoof it back to Happy Happy Village.
And seeing that it's the diamond, it'll be interesting to see if Slug chooses to go for that. We also have Winters and the mouse as the check.
Oh yeah.
So she might look at that and say, what's going to be the bigger issue?
Well, she
Gurk
already
is going to get a...
she already checked that it is the diamond. So she's heading right back there now.
Oh, I didn't notice that Gurk had already looked once.
Yeah, Slug did. Gurk is getting the hint and going to find out that Paula is in Happy Happy when he leaves this building.
I don't know if that was fast enough for him to read.
It was fast
Too
enough for me
fast
not to read. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I'd say. I guess I'm not judging his reading ability, more my reading disability.
Honestly, when you're on comms, it's just harder to read. Because when you're running it, you know exactly when you press the button that lets you see the thing you're looking for, and you can focus at exactly that second. When you're on
Yep.
comms, it's like a reactive thing, which is harder.
Yes, I'm looking at both screens and my long list of facts. So there's a
Mm.
lot to keeping my attention here.
Yeah, could you fax me those facts?
You want facts, a facts of the facts?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any facts about fax machines. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a shame. They still use fax machines quite extensively in Japan, the game where it is rumored that Earthbound was made.
Actually,
I said game instead of country, whatever.
I do have a fact about the Earthbound game. Actually,
Oh, yeah?
the name Earthbound came about from the fact that the game can only currently be played on planet Earth.
Huh, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to go become a astronaut just so I can go play this in space.
Not sure that gets on the list of approved things from NASA, although maybe you could go to some other space agency, Kazakhstan perhaps.
I mean, you just have to like smuggle a GBA on with you.
RFC in the chat with an excellent fact here. Buzz Buzz was actually future Jeff, as in Jeff Goldblum,
Oh,
host The Fly.
that's very interesting. It looks like Guilographer in chat has decided to subscribe to Cat Facts. Did you know that cats are very cuddly and furry?
If you throw a cat up in the air, it always lands on its feet.
All right. McGurk's going to be picking up that Paula, and then I believe that is actual go mode for him. I haven't kept too much track of which runner has which.
There's a moment of truth on his face.
Oh yeah, you got a
Oh,
face
look at
up.
that. Say,
Nice.
look at that smile. I'm seeing a face on his feed. I'm watching through
Ah,
speedracing.tv.
very nice.
I can see every subtle change in his facial expressions.
You can read the facial expressions to know what's going on before I catch up on comms.
Unlike Thomas in Tuesday night's ancient cave venture, he was really tough to get emotion from.
Mm,
Gurk is really expressive this evening.
makes sense. Rizikun coming with a hot cat fact. Cats will not use any bed that you purchase for them. But you can buy a dog bed, and the cat will use that if you have a dog.
Gurk has 4 sanctuaries he still needs to get through.
Mm-hmm.
But they are going to be quite fast, given I think the fact Paula has a holy fry pan, earth pendant, all that. So
Yeah,
defensively, I think, and offensively, all 3 people are more than enough at this point.
yeah. He does have a rain pendant. I think he should be putting that on Paul instead of the earth pendant. Maybe he'll do that for Gygus, though.
The earth takes out half, or how much for each of those?
It is about half for each. The way that damage reduction and that stuff works is a little funny. I think paralysis and flash are different numbers than the other ones, but it is the halfway tier of all of them.
The pendant and Nemo, like the flame, rain, those take away almost all, correct?
Yeah, it's 95% for some, and I think it might be 100% for the flash, or 90% or something. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't looked at the resistant numbers in a while, and it's 2 different sets of numbers that are almost the same, but not quite. So it's a little silly. Looks like McGurk is going to be checking the shop and not opting to steal a pile of brain food lunches from that Starman.
That could be a scary Starman.
It could be a spooky, scary Starman at 10. Right, and they're just doing each other's stuff that they've done before.
Should be pretty linear at this point. I mean, they're all 4 dungeons that they know they need to do. It just is a matter of which way they feel like doing them.
Yeah, and this is
I would assume
this is McGurk's first
and,
sanctuary, right?
correct. And I believe it's
Bear.
second in the logical order.
Bear.
There is a bear.
Yeah, we might be able
Watch
to
out.
actually get the number off of that if we look very carefully. Also, a bear.
That bear turned around to fight.
Bear. Oh,
A bear made a mistake.
Yeah, that will cost like 1 second and that bear's life.
McGurk checking presence.
Yep.
Maybe to get cups of life noodles. I suppose at this point,
Yeah.
worrying about armor and weapons should not be an issue.
Yeah, though the ones that are right on your path still can be Dragonite, Cup of Life Noodles, that sort of thing. I was noticed on Slug's side that all of the barfs are dropping the Mr. Baseball bat, which is moderately annoying.
But thanks to whoever programmed in this slick R menu item system, very very thankful for them.
Oh, you're welcome. That was me.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah, it was me.
Wow. What haven't you done with this game? What aren't you responsible for?
Making Coil Snake and several of the bug fixes. Yeah, it's mostly me. There's a handful of very fancy assembly things that Catador and D-Man and Cooprox123E did. And I think a couple by Phoenix Bound as well. I don't know, look at the credits.
Maybe making a mistake here, hoping to maybe get an easier path than going Winters.
This
But
could
there's
also,
a chance that
yeah, it could also be the equipment check here. Crimson Green, I tried to do that, and it was not possible in the game's engine yet. But if we bully a Cooprox into it, and or just beg him nicely, we might be able to pull that off.
first round of attack, you could see McGurk's face change a little bit, realizing that he is out of scale at this point. But he did take care of business regardless.
Interesting. Yeah, I got right through that. So I'm wondering if this is for the key item or just for those two shops that you unlock here.
Also true. But again, thinking equipment-wise, there's not much better. He picked up the Shyness book. I suppose I need to delay a little bit,
Yep,
just so I don't spoil it for the people.
just a tiny bit. Reason that's a good suggestion that I always forget to do. And he found star pendants over here, so that is all you need, really.
This is going to make things real quick at this point. It was good to check
Yeah.
check the shops.
I assume that the Saturn Valley final shop will also have them. But if they don't, then McGurk is sitting pretty.
He's looking for something to sell just to get enough money for that last star pendant.
Yep, and he sold a Earth pendant, so now he kind of has to do it.
Selling his pizzas.
Dr. Sibian, I believe that the scent count is 1 for McGurk and 2 for Slug.
I wonder if he would selling the big bottle rocket might not be worth it. Oh, he just had enough.
Yeah,
Or maybe would it be worth selling the heavy bazooka at this point, as everyone in your party is really dealing some damage?
Maybe. It does have that nice property of not being affected by defense, so I don't know. But looks like McGurk finished off that shopping spree without having to go get money, and it's going to go pull a reverse exit mouse, which you have not yet seen this seed, right?
We've not gone up this way.
Yeah, I like pulling the reverse exit mouse. I always forget to do it myself. Caitlin pointing out that he...
terribly useful for Winters, but it might be useful for... He's got to do Giant Step and Milky Well.
Yeah. Caitlin and Shannon's pointing out that that ended up with McGurk not having any money for repel sandwiches. I actually think that kind of matters, because if he spent that money on repel sandwiches, looping back and picking up those pendants later will work better than looping back and picking up your repel sandwiches later.
You might not need repel sandwiches for these 3 sanctuaries, at least, as everything is likely going to be scared
Yeah,
of him at this point.
Yeah, probably scared all the way up until Rainy Circle.
Would you assume that the Rainy Circle is going to be scared of him as well at this point, being 4th in the logic?
I think that it's 4th in the logic, and I don't think it'll be scared. Because he hasn't really done anything to be like higher level than 4th.
Is that? I think Paula's, at least I saw level 27. I think I saw the Psychic Shield Epsilon? Is that what it was?
Sigma.
Sigma, that's it. I don't really know my Greek letters.
Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau. Crap, I got the rest one. Otherwise, that would have been impressive. Something omega.
Hallmark just flexing all over me at this point.
Oh, flexing like a bird.
Like a flying man.
Yeah. No, I'm not a frat boy. I was just an absolute nerd in middle school.
Founding member, president, and sole member of the Greek Letter Club.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Mr. Rocker, I am no longer in middle school. And it looks like we have a meme phone call from mcgurk. Looks like he's gonna stop and put in proper grammar and punctuation. You always love to see that in a meme entry.
Will this fit?
Looks like it's gonna be something he's planned out without, fitting without spaces.
It was intentional.
Cash me outside, how about that? Okay.
Choosing to exit mouse there, we are going to go to Winters, saving, of course, the obvious Milky Well for last.
Makes sense. Get a nice Tessie rind to flex your muscles and stretch your hands right before the end. I do
We
believe
gather his thoughts.
I do believe that they're even now. Because they both done 2 sanks, and Slug picked up her Paula.
It is true, 2-2. But at this point, Slug is likely behind with a handful of minutes of menuing and possibly not checking Berglund Park. I'm wondering if anyone's feeling behind. It did seem to take Slug a while to get to Paula, so you might be thinking 50 minutes in to just now getting go mode.
Yeah, it's possible. It looks like she's gonna stop and buy equipment here, though. Realizing she's not gonna get poo, selling a bunch of poo stuff.
Selling a bunch of poop.
Yeah, selling a bunch of poo. And getting good money for it.
The fact that Slug is choosing to stock up here wouldn't make much sense to then go to Tucson and then visit another shop and spend all that time menuing.
Yeah, I assume she knows she's in go mode here. This is actually commonly a very high scale shop. It didn't work out in this seed for that to happen. But yeah. Yeah, so I would say that mcgurk is slightly ahead, because I think Slug's going on exactly the same path from here on out. With slightly worse items.
Yep.
Though she...
That'll be big coming into Gygas having star pendants. You really don't have to worry about the flash attack.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about Gygas's freeze. There's really zero reason that Gurk wouldn't survive.
Yeah, definitely. I think Slug's probably going to be banking on the final Saturn shop for that stuff. If Gurk doesn't do that shop and Slug does, that will be a time loss for her. She could also just go in with what she has. She has Earth Pendants, which on Forsank, honestly, is plenty. I don't think you'd have any problem with Gygas with an Earth Pendant. Because you can get through with those okay pendants normally.
Thunder attack might end up causing some strife, to Paula at least.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really seeing, and I'm trying to think about which bosses might make things unfriendly. Maybe some shrooms making people strange could lead to some issues.
Yeah, the pendants actually don't do anything for Thunder.
But if Gygas has a weaker Thunder attack, then it may all be irrelevant.
Huh.
Chat is going wild at this point.
Yeah, chat's finding out about Updog recently.
Clearly someone has not gone to middle school.
Yeah, well, I graduated, as we established earlier.
Crimson was definitely got. He got.
And those baddies are dead.
Goddess band.
Goddess band.
Paula's going to be absolutely jacked on defense at this point.
Yeah, that's going to be a tanky Paula.
Or Sanctuary Boss.
Yeah, these flags setting. In these flag settings, you really should be expecting Gygus to be kind of a cakewalk.
Looks like pretty close to a one cycle there, thanks to a gutsy bat smash on Starman Deluxe. Didn't really have a chance to do much. He called for a friend to watch him get his own butt kicked.
Always hate when I do that.
All your friends over for a rumble, and by the time they arrive, you're already down on the floor. Will he check the monkey, or will he just get out and go?
I would definitely check that mouse. It could be a Franklin badge. Yeah, it's a monkey mouse, whatever.
That would be the only reason to check the monkey mouse.
Yes, a monkey mouse might have a monkey Franklin badge.
We have Officer Mouse reporting for duty.
That's the wrong badge. That mouse is a narc. Wow, that is some great stairs noise.
A lot of showers from on Gurk's side of things.
Defensively. That item actually can be useful, but not in any situation that's ever likely to come up.
I find it most useful to sell.
Yeah, kinda.
And there we sell for sandwich money.
Mm-hmm. Buy a lot of sandwiches for a shower. And Slug's finishing up the sink too.
I'm trying to see if I read that. How much was he selling the showers for?
I thought it was
I
about...
thought they sell for $250.
I think it was 2,500.
2,500. Okay.
3,000, something like that. And Slug is through
I
the
just
Starman.
don't know the cost of a shower in this day and age.
Yeah, no idea.
I'm really out of touch with the economy.
A shower is worth 10 sprays. McGurk is going to be picking up that sanctuary.
Well, as I heard a brief lull in the action, I am running low on Earthbound facts, but I do in fact have more Earthbound facts for us all.
Uh-oh. It does look like...
Hitman. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Get it in quick. We're at the final
Hitman
sec.
sprite was modeled after Shigesato Itoi, who used to follow around groups of unaccompanied children to take their money in exchange for advice.
Huh. I mean, why would you give that up? That's a good hobby.
A tongue-in-cheek homage to himself and his favorite hobby.
Alright, we have the final sanctuary boss. It is the number 3 mole. The number 3 mole is useful for getting out of sand traps. Not so good if you're in the rough. And McGurk's getting through it no problem.
He was really fortunate that the seed rolled the third strongest mole instead of the first or second strongest mole. That would have been trouble at the third scale here, third sanctuary.
Yeah, I probably should add different strengths to moles. Looks like Slug is on that final repel sandwich binge. McGurk's probably going to be hitting that Gygus a little earlier. Bizigith has absorbed the power of the land into his heart.
Is that how that is pronounced? I thought it was some Mesopotamian icon.
I think it's actually a nickname for one of his kids. But a kid whose name does not actually fit into Ness's character limit.
So what is Bizgith short for then? Bizgarth?
I do not know. All I know is that they're short names for kids and kids' screen names.
Star Pendant is at the Saturn shop, so Slug is going to get the get the good stuff.
Absolutely, and McGurk is just picking up Horns of Life because he's already picked these good items up. A Bizigith makes sense.
Trying to tell if Rizu is making up facts here. I mean, it's believable, but we do not have room for fake facts here.
Oh, wait, Caitlin, are you McGurk's kid? If so, that's very neat. Welcome to the community. Jeff Slot Kid. I'm sorry that you have been consigned to Jeff Slot, but good to have you aboard.
Well, now it's getting real.
Oh, we got the whole family here. I'm glad you're all pulling in support for Mr. McMcGurk.
When he wins, we expect them all to come flying into the room and crash the camera.
That sounds fun. Right, and we have the robotomy cutscene. Small children, please look away now.
This time we do mean it. There are small children in the chat.
Small children, you can now look at the screen again.
Especially focus on the screen on the left and try not to get too sleepy or suggestive.
Alright, and Slug has gotten through her number 3 mole. That sand trap proved no problem for her. You all look like kids in the game.
They are now robots.
Robots. Man, that's a great robot stomping noise.
Well, we forgot to play our favorite game.
Oh yeah, everyone, get in your guesses.
Name that Gygus, buddy.
I think it's Frank. How about you?
You know, at this point, I think it has to be Frank logically.
Oh.
It just seems to fit.
Did we see Frank? I don't think we saw Frank.
We've not seen Frank. We've seen Frankie Stein.
Hmm.
We've not seen Frank himself.
What if any of the bosses could have an E-Stein variant? Starman Deluxe Stein.
Remy Stein?
Ness's Nightmare Stein. Mad Ducky Stein. Right, we got a good number of guesses in here. Good job, chat.
Moment of truth is upon us. We have a.
We have a.
Well,
yeah.
Tomar, you didn't even roll a randomized seed.
Oh, I forgot to hit the randomize button on the randomizer.
Oh, this is too bad.
Yeah, nobody guessed this though, so the Apple of Enlightenment continues to be vindicated in his inability to predict this.
As nobody predicted it, we do have to run this race again, I believe.
Yeah, all of those channel points that we were wagering on this just go into the aether. And nobody ever guesses vanilla on this, except that one time.
Rick looking quite happy after he 2 hits Pokey with the heavy bazooka and the smash.
Yeah, went right through him. That is a cardboard Pokey.
Well, as we enter phase 2, I do have one final Earthbound fact for us all tonight.
All right.
If you rearrange the letters in Ness's name, you get SNES, which actually stands for Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the console the game is played on.
Wait, that's a real fact.
Well, yeah, gotta keep you guessing.
I am guessed away.
If some of my facts are real, maybe all of them are.
Fun fact, this boss's name is actually Googie.
That was floated by some of my friends when I was coming up with these.
I'm a fan of just messing up how you say this dude's name every time, especially when you choose Goose Goose. And Attack Slug is into the Cave of the Pink Past.
The freeze does about 5 damage down the row there. This is no big deal for Gurk.
Yep, that's those star packets.
He's comfortable at this point.
Gigagas. I believe Gygus' name is actually inspired by horror artist H.R. Geiger. It's an actual fact.
Not sure I believe you. Your credibility is low at the moment.
And yeah, on these 140 item seeds, Gygus should go pretty smoothly. Need a lot of freeze solidifies before anything goes wrong here.
And we have not seen the thunder attacks or how far that's scaled. We can again assume it's probably fine as long as Bisgith continues to send heals Paula's way.
Yeah, and it should be a weak
way.
one unless there was a Franklin badge somewhere they never checked. And Slug is at Gygus, gonna find out that it's vanilla.
I'm seeing depending on the boss here, but if we get a boss as I've watched these tournaments that we know is kind of notoriously low HP scaled, it's almost not worth wasting a Paula turn on the Psychic Shield, and really just to try and deliver as much damage as possible to get out of phase 1.
Yeah, I actually think there's a couple of bosses, including some of the scarier ones, where that is a great strategy. particularly Kraken and Department Store Spook. If you're not really low level, you should probably just try blowing them up. And McGurk's on to the final two prayers.
It's like a Slug is giving Pokey the tingly legs.
Tingly legs. That's why they call him Mr. Tingly Legs. And McGurk is on to final prayer. Will he get it? The answer is probably yes. We'll find out very shortly.
Oh, just under 104.
Yeah, very nicely done, Mr. McGurk.
If that was his goal, mission accomplished.
Yeah. And Slug is hot on his heels.
He removes the headphones.
Yes. Everyone get your GGs in chat. Remember that GG is actually short for Guy Gas.
That's also a true fact. Your credibility is increasing by the fact.
Yeah, that's true.
Dr. Sibian were to get earning some channel points. I did not see how the wagering went. I chose to not gamble on this.
Yeah, I never gamble when
impartial third party.
Yeah, I never gamble when I'm casting. Also, it gives me a nasty gram about being a mod. I'm like scared. All right. Well, good job.
They will report you.
Yeah.
They'll take your stream key.
Oh no, not my stream key that I shared with half of the community. That none of us would be able to cast. Yeah, it was very close. They both ended on Gygas.
Yeah, looks like Slug has 4 more prays left.
Looks like
I just did the first pray there.
Yeah, there's all the prayers left.
I made that fact up. 8 prayers to go, so Slug should be wrapped up right around the 107.5 mark, 108.
You've timed it. I'm impressed.
This is purely speculation.
Purely speculation. Unfortunately, McGurk does not get the U1 message here because he chose the wrong window flavor. That's going to invalidate his entire seed. You hate to see it.
Too bad, so we have to pencil Slug through the next round. Sorry to the Gurk family in the chat. Yep. Your father lost. I don't know any other way to sugarcoat this.
Yeah, thanks, Gurk family, for showing up. It is very neat having you all on here. Yeah, so McGurk has won this. We'll be advancing to the next round. Our next match of this is going to be next Tuesday. I guess, well, it's the soonest Tuesday you can get. Who's in that match?
Gurk is slated to go against Aureliex next.
Hold, please. No.
I lied. Crimson Green.
Yes. So it's going to be McGurk versus Crimson Green. Next week we're going to have Javanator versus Catador on Catinator. That's not how that works.
Catinator.
Yeah. Javanator versus Catador.
Themselves a new nickname.
Yeah. Javanator versus Catador will be on Tuesday. Anyone who needs more scrambling in their life, you can always run your own seeds. There's also the weekly. We will be rolling over the weekly seed in about 2 hours.
I never went around and did that this week. This is the first weekly I've missed in 19 of them.
Oh, wow. I think I'm actually going to go do it after this. I lied.
Well,
I have to go
maybe I will too. I'll race you.
Uh-oh. I'm going to...
Should we quickly scrounge up some commentators and do this the real way?
You know what? We could do that. When is the next and for... What's that?
Pass on racing you formally.
All right. That sounds good. I have no idea when any of the next matches are. We will be doing the scheduling next Tuesday. I believe Temple has been keeping the times up to date. So we'll find out those times next week. But next week's matchups are going to be... so as mentioned, we have Javanator versus Catador. We're going to have IQ versus Temple. Anda versus Charging Charles. Hey, that's you.
Looking forward to it.
Winner of Javanator versus Catador versus Aureliex, and McGurk versus Crimson Green.
Slug wrapped it up right at 107.32. That was a pretty good estimate, if I say so myself.
You did pretty well. All right.
Pretty well.
All right, and with that, I think we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for joining me on commentary, Charging Charles.
No problem. I used all my Earthbound facts, and now I never have to do this again.
Wonderful.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. It was nice knowing y'all.
Thank you, mcmcgurk and Attack Slug, for racing for us. It was a nice, close race. Fun to commentate when it's nice and close. Thank thank you to all the chat for showing up with us, and thank you for the McGurk family for being half of chat. It's very sweet of you all to show up, and I hope you keep showing up for more scrambles. With that, I'm going to sign off. Have a great evening, everyone.